Good morning, folks. Budget Bachelor Bill here. Daily doses of post-pandemic positivity. I've been away about a month and a half. Just wanted to touch base with you and wish you the best of days. Happy, fulfilling, productive days. Hopefully, through the course of my videos, you've picked up on some things, no matter how small, no matter how large, to help you through the course of your day. Whether it's getting up and hitting that device in a more punctual fashion, or making breakfast, or finding some budget items, relating to some fun stories that I've shared, maybe incorporating those stories and customizing them to your own happiness. So I'm going to try to do that again. Today marks a very special day because it's the end of a decade in my life. We all have thresholds that we hit. We all have certain timeline events in our life that are significant, and some of them are tied to our birthdays. So this one ties to my birthday. I actually wore this Washington Wizards, turn slowly here, my Michael Jordan t-shirt. Anyway, you see the number here. But Michael Jordan, at the end of his road, after he had played a decade and a half or so with the Bulls, in between played with the White Sox, he ended up going for his final retirement. I think he retired two or three times, twice with the Bulls before it actually was an actual retirement. He went to the Wizards. I think he had some front office ties, some player decisions, some coaching decisions at the end of his road with the Washington Wizards. But he played maybe 2 or 3 years there. Christian Laettner played with him. That's another big NBA name. And Tyronn Lue, who's now the coach of the LA Lakers and has been, they were with him on the Wizards. But when he was there, he still was a big-time leader, just like he was all the years with the Bulls, making the players around him better, and absolutely standing out. So he still stood out. Probably a lot was because of his history with the Bulls, but he still stood out because of his play. And he always played with his heart and his physical abilities, probably aside a lot of times, because he was just so dedicated to be a leader that way. And it's admirable because he still was scoring 20 points a game. He lost the jumper, so he got fouled a lot driving to the basket, but he had the turnaround still that was kind of his signature, just the turnaround move, and he hit the jumper. So he scored at the foul line and a lot more of those turnaround jumpers than he did before. But he could actually still dunk pretty successfully too. It just had to be a lot more open, or people clear the path for him probably. Out of a sign of respect. At any rate, he almost took the team to the playoffs, and made the other players better before he hung it up. So I'm wearing this in tribute to, hey, getting older and you can still be a leader and you can still have such a positive influence on people and impactful, and they'll remember you, just like teachers you had that way, in a way. And he was definitely a teacher, even on the Wizards, after his prime Bulls days, for sure. So he had an old coach, Doug Collins, that was actually a Bulls coach of his in his way earlier years, and he brought him back. So again, I think he had some coaching and player pull and decision making with the front office of Washington. I don't know the details, but just to tie it in, I'm getting older. I like to think that I want to still lead people, that I can still lead people, that I am still leading people. I know I am, but it's a shout out to him in that respect. So that's my beginning story, folks. Just remember to keep a positive outlook on your day. Know within you can lead people, and mothers, fathers out there with children are doing that on a daily basis already. I realize that, but you also can educate them beyond what a school, preschool, grade school, high school, college is going to do that for life. So, all right. So on that note, I got my coffee going here. I picked up this mug, this Blackhawks mug. Huge fan. Ties into the hat here. And I will skew away from Michael Jordan and talk a little bit about some happy things in here. Then I will touch on one of the savings items. So, all right. So the Blackhawks picked up a goalie named Marc-Andre Fleury from the Las Vegas Knights. Also had one named Tony Esposito, who passed away. He won all the goalie award. Begins with a V. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but So we pick up Marc-Andre Fleury from the Las Vegas Knights. He's at the end of the road. He's going to be like Michael Jordan, teaching those younger players, except on the Blackhawks, because he's just, I think, signed for a year. But it's a great thing. He's a great goalie, and seemingly a nice person. I actually met him once, very briefly, at an autograph signing. So that's another story for today, folks. And you see my scoreboard for the Cubs. I put the plane on purpose. It's in a nosedive, and there's a broken wing because the Cubs have no wings now, and they are in a nosedive. I think they've lost 10 games in a row. I talked about these videos 2 months ago. They were 10 games up. They had their players still intact from the 2016 World Series. Those guys are gone. They have a couple players still from 2016, but not really so impactful. One pitcher's great. He's still around, one pitcher. And then one other catcher who's actually a very good player too. But they didn't have the leadership and the spotlight, so to speak. But they definitely contributed and in big ways. So 2 players out of the whole team of, 30 are left from 2016 now. They've lost 10 games in a row. The White Sox are redeeming the city as far as baseball goes because they're 12 games ahead in their division. Maybe in the whole major leagues they're the best team. I don't know offhand. That could be the case. But there's my Chicago Cubs story with my scoreboard, Cubs in a nosedive. I would always wear my hat, the Cubs hat, backwards when they lost. They fly the L or the W flag above the scoreboard. So they might as well keep that L flag up. And I'm just going to put this backwards just like that. This is a San Diego Padres hat. I have one cousin that went to the University of San Diego, very nice school, La Jolla. Chris Bryant played on the Cubs. He went to college with her. I think I remember her telling me that's where he played at University of San Diego. Also, out west, a friend, San Diego State University. His fiancee just had a birthday. Happy belated to her. All right, and some items I've touched on before. Blood pressure fairly normal. This can go up and down any given time. You just have to relax before you do the readings. This probably doesn't help. All right, my tennis water bottle. I got to tell a story about tennis. There's this lumberjack looking player. He looks like Jake Arrieta from the Cubs. Just that big beard, and he's probably like 6'10". Named Riley Opelka or Opeka, something like that. He just lost a final in Montreal. On the women's side, this gorgeous girl named Camilla Giorgi. She's on her way up. I think she's about 30 years old, 28, something like that. Just gorgeous. Always had a talent, huge game, and just had to develop the psychological, the mental part more, and get more consistent with her ground strokes. I think she's there. So she played Pliskova, this really tall Russian who lost the Wimbledon final. So, all right, so those are my happy stories, and I'll just get into one quick budget story here. It is the day before one of my largest birthdays of my life, so I'm going to keep this a little on the briefer side. So, the savings part. Tupperware. I mentioned this, I think, or even containers. So you get these containers at some restaurant, I recommend you keep them. Why not? Anywhere you go out, if you plan ahead, you can put sandwiches in here, you can put pasta in here. I mean, they're just so convenient, and they're going to save you a lot of money. And isn't it nice to go have a picnic or sit on a bench and just kind of take in the sunshine and take in the atmosphere around you? And you do that and carry food with you in one of these, you're going to save, $10 or $15 from getting an entree and just being, okay, I'm walking on the sidewalk, I'm hungry, and then popping into a place. That's $15-20 that you could be saving right here, just by planning ahead. Again, a lot of my common themes, all my videos, planning ahead, self-discipline and planning ahead. And that's what you have to do on a daily basis to save. And Tupperware is always good for that. Is this Tupperware? This is a container. Tupperware, whatever. All right. So Wilson was on the sidelines today because of my Blackhawks mug. He's not going in there. All right. All right. So another thing that's going to help you save retrospectively is organizational with your bills. And I probably touched on this before too. I got 2 bills to pay today. Monday's always a good day to pay bills, right? I mean, Saturday, Sunday, you're running around doing activities with your friends, family. I got my bills lined up. A bill organizer of some kind is always good, or just a rubber band and keeping them all in a rubber band so you know the dates they're due, and you can follow them quite easily that way. So, all right, folks. So again, a very big birthday of mine, which happens to be tomorrow. And you'll see it. I'm going to post this on my social media page, so you'll see it. Hopefully, watch it. Please pass it on to people that you might find some happiness, some joy in their day, some helpful budget tips or items, etc. That gets their mind flowing. I'm going to go take care of my bills and a couple other errands I have to do, all very carefully because I still having my ongoing back and foot issues that seemingly never end, no matter what the treatment is. I'm thinking more and more about surgery because there's been just regular pain. I don't know if that's the route I'm going to go. I've heard back and forth stories on that. The doctor hasn't recommended it, so I'm thinking that he sees something in the MRI or the x-rays that won't allow me to fully healed or have the conscious that everything is going to be fine. So I know it puts you out for about 6 to 10 weeks too. That's another drawback, to be out 6 to 10 weeks and not even have it be 100% afterwards. I mean, I don't know. What if it just goes back to the way it is? That's not going to help me. Anyway, folks, positivity, right? Post-pandemic positivity. Interaction, the crowds are there. Now they got some variants thrown in, but each state, each city, each area you're in is going to be different that way. It is getting more and more back to normalcy. Certainly with a venue, I was at one this past weekend, very much a normal crowd as of call it 20 years before the pandemic hit, and that was good to see. The sunshine and the nice weather helps. Being around bodies of water help. Sunshine, parks, just you can see that it's turning, and in nothing but a positive way, despite the variants and the vaccine talk. That's some of that could be political, some of it could be stock related. Keep those stocks rolling, and but things are slowly but surely, and Chicago is probably not a good example for the city that way, but getting better. All right, so take care, folks, and I will see you on the next go round. I've been away a month, so I'm not sure when I'll post again, but be positive, be good to others, and have a great outlook on your day. And best to friends and family out there, and shout outs to all of you. All right, take care. Bye.